The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. Let's talk about it. 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 On the Vera Thomas Show. Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Hi, I am so glad to be here this evening, and I am so excited about my guest. Her name is Julie Cooley, and let me tell you, this young woman has been through so much. Hi, Julie, how are you?
Great, Vera. It's a privilege to speak in front of your audience today. Thanks for having me.
Well, I am honored that you are here. And when we think about all the things that you've gone through, what I'm going to do is share your bio, and then I'm going to give you the floor for you to share more about Julie Cooley. Julie is a wellness expert whose passion is to help people reduce their stress by shifting their mindset. Julie has suffered from chronic illnesses for several decades. Knowing that stress exacerbates sickness, she has done a lot of research on how to heal and reduce stress naturally using techniques such as mindfulness, meditation, and Qigong, which we're going to be talking about, exercises, which is an exercise similar to Tai Chi. She shares her 3R framework to help reduce tension and to build resiliency, knowing that the stress is responsible. And let me say this twice. Stress is responsible for 75 to 90% of all doctor visits. Her intent is for her participants to walk away with tools that will help them prevent their potential illnesses, and we are more powerful than we realize. By integrating our body, our mind, and our spirit, and using mindset shifts, we can be healthier and more resilient. So I'm going to give you the floor and let you tell us your journey and what led you to your purpose and your passion.
Well, like most people, my purpose comes from my pain. And I think that is a great thing about life is when we can take our trauma and teach others to shortcut their challenges from what we experienced. Now, mine happens to be chronic illness. Now, I wasn't born sick. I had my colds and sore throats like all little kids do. But I think some of my traumas started, and Vera's very familiar with this in her message, is when I switched schools. So my parents moved because my father got a better job when I was about 8 years old. And I was devastated because I loved my school. I had tons of friends. And then I moved into another school where sports were super important. And I didn't really play sports in my old school. And I wasn't very good at them. And they found that out pretty darn quickly when we played kickball at recess. And so I began years and years of torment in school. So I was very bullied, called names, everything from the way I walked to the way I eat and, shut up, Julie, because I was a pretty boisterous little girl. I loved learning. I always wanted to answer all the questions from the teacher. And, that got shut down pretty quickly. And, as a little kid, you don't have the defense mechanisms to realize, hey, they're in pain. Because if they weren't in pain, they wouldn't be attacking you. They're doing it to make themselves feel better. But when you're a little kid, you believe what other people tell you. And then, my home life was kind of tumultuous too. My parents, got divorced when I was 13. My mom worked 4 jobs to support us, so she was never around. When I complained to her about being bullied, she's like, just ignore them, Julie, which is the worst thing you can do. You gotta, be in your own power and stand up to them. But that wasn't communicated to me. And by that time, I became really introverted, really shy. That wasn't my natural personality at all. And I became depressed because home was very tumultuous. School was, devastating. Didn't have a lot of friends because of the bullying. People didn't want that kind of stigma of being associated with me. And when you shut yourself down that way and you swallow who you truly are, that can turn physical. And then, I didn't know that at the time. And, that wasn't brought to my attention until many, many years later. But I do think that's what happened. So when I went to college, I love singing. That was my saving grace when I was growing up, is choir and writing songs and doing music. And people did respect me for that. And so that was kind of my haven. So I was a music major in college, and we went to England after my freshman year. And when I came back, I was really tired. And, maybe it's jet lag. It was my first time traveling on a plane, and it was certainly first time abroad, but it just continued. So my mom thought I was just trying to get out of work. and I wasn't. I was exhausted. I could not even get out of bed. So she took me to the doctor, and they couldn't figure out what was going on. They're like, it's in her head, or she has negative mono. And I'm like, what the heck is negative mono? Never heard it. And unfortunately, that began a pattern of getting sick every 2 weeks, like clockwork, where I was so fatigued and achy that I couldn't work. I had a lot of trouble getting out of bed. And I went to doctor after doctor and heard all sorts of theories, and nobody could really diagnose it. And then I met this lady who was an acupuncturist, and she became my best friend. And she said, you need to go to a naturopath. Didn't even know what a naturopath was. Found out they were natural doctors and expensive as anything, but thank God my insurance covered it, but they don't always cover natural medicine. And, she diagnosed a gluten allergy, which helped, but it still didn't get to the core of why am I sick every 2 weeks? And then they were like, oh, it's Lyme disease. It's kind of fatigue syndrome. But that really didn't explain it because I never had the bullseye. I was very rarely outdoors, to get bit by a tick. So that really didn't make sense to me. So it was really frustrating because I was in a lot of pain and I couldn't do what I love to do, to have a lot of energy for my friendships, my relationships. And, people don't understand, because if you have a broken arm or you have cancer, people understand and they can sympathize because they can see what you're going through. But if it's invisible and nobody can figure out what's wrong with you, then they don't believe you. You're like, oh, you look fine, Julie. There's nothing wrong with you. Or, you're working. No, there's nothing wrong with you. And you feel like crap. And you're trying to get day by day. All you can do is try to live your life, as best as you can. So what I discovered, I had to do a lot of the research myself because doctors weren't really willing to do the digging, or as I said, they would diagnose me with Lyme disease, which just didn't sit right with me. So I had to do a lot of diet changes. I definitely became gluten-free because I felt much better after not eating gluten. Became vegan just 4 years ago, and then discovered things, like I tried yoga and Qigong, and Qigong has helped tremendously. Qigong is an energetic exercise. And since all disease begins first with your energy, then your emotions, and then if you don't get it at the head, it will turn physical. But that's the problem, because you don't feel it at an energetic level. And you might be stressed, but you don't realize how it's affecting your body. So usually you don't pay attention until it gets to the physical level. So that's why I like exercises like Qigong, because it addresses all three levels for you. But by doing a lot of those things, meditation, mindfulness, and then looking at the trauma that I went through as a kid, the family issues, the abandonment, my mom wasn't there. And as a kid, you don't understand. She was trying to make half the family survive, but you're still by yourself. And we've lived back in the days where you were 11 years old and you were a latchkey kid and you were taking care of your younger brother and sister, so you had a lot of responsibility at a young age. So you have to go through all that mindset stuff too and realize, okay, what contributed to the illness?
Wow. And I could relate to your experience in school because I was the one that everyone said, "Do we have to have her on our team? We don't want
Uh-huh.
her."
Yep. No, you have to have her. We don't want her.
Right, right. She can't throw the ball. She can't kick the ball.
and that and
She
that
can't hit
translates
the ball.
and that translates to everything. Then all of a
It
sudden I knew
does.
you're ugly. The one thing they couldn't say was I was stupid, because they knew I wasn't stupid, but everything else was, up for grabs. And it really takes a huge toll on your self-esteem,
It
because,
does.
as I was saying, as a little kid, you don't know better. And unless you have a really strong support system standing up for you, which I didn't, then you start. At first, I fought it, like, Julie, you're ugly. No, I'm not. Julie, you're that. No, I'm not. But if you hear it every
Over and
single day,
over.
from the time you
Yes.
get up to the bus stop to crank calls at night, it just,
It takes
it
its
just
toll.
takes a huge toll on your self-esteem.
It
And,
really does.
and when we have lower self-esteem, I think that makes us more susceptible to illness.
And that's interesting because you also said you went from a gregarious, happy, talkative child to shy. And so did I. I was relatively shy as a child. And it's because when you keep hearing all this negative stuff on a continuous base, it truly impacts you because you then begin to think, well, they called me stupid. They called me dumb. They called me fat. They called me ugly. And then you start thinking that this stuff is true until you recognize, as Eleanor Roosevelt said, no one can make you feel inferior without your permission. Once I understood that, and that's one of the things I try so hard to help children understand, just because people say these things about you does not make it so. And helping them to recognize the greatness that's within them that they can articulate and speak. And you and I growing up, not so much, so, but thank God you recognize who you were. And also, thank God you had the wherewithal to start researching, to find out more about what was going on with Julie after all these misdiagnoses and all this stuff. So share with us some of the methods and the research that you use to get to know what was wrong with you and to come up with remedies to heal yourself.
A lot of it, unfortunately, has to be trial and error. And as much as we would all love a magic, bullet or magic pill that would work for all of us, that doesn't happen. So it was a lot of trial and error. I mean, as you know, in our generation, we didn't grow up with the best food. We ate a lot of canned food. My mom, again, worked many, many hours. She didn't really trust us to cook. So ate a lot of yogurt, a lot of sandwiches, not a lot of vegetables. And if you don't have that good foundation of mental and physical health where you're eating pretty well, that's going to cause issues too. So, when I got to college, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, my childhood wasn't normal. I saw other people's childhoods and I'm like, oh. And then I had a voice teacher who I think half our sessions were therapy and half our sessions were voice lessons, because she saw in me, the pain and the lower self-esteem. So, she got me to read books on how to raise my self-esteem. She introduced me to the term codependency, which I had no idea what that was, because I always try to save everybody. You want to be the good little girl because, my mom was in pain because she was going through a divorce. She had to work all these hours. I wanted to help her and save her and, be there for her. And obviously you can't, but you have those controlling aspects that you have as a protective mechanism. But the problem is you keep those habits when they're not healthy for you anymore. Because again, you don't know better. And you mentioned, with children, but the problem is with the Eleanor Roosevelt quote, yeah, that's great when you're an adult, but when you're a kid, you don't know better. You don't know not to take things personally. You don't know that people are miserable and that's why they're treating you the way they're treating you. You think there's something wrong with you and you internalize that. And when you internalize that, then your body listens to you. Your cells listen to you. Your DNA listens to you. Your muscles hold all your memories. So then it's trying to protect you. So what it does is it creates a huge armor, and your muscles are tight. And again, you're not letting the energy flow and it leads to sickness. So, having that voice teacher really helped. And she was into natural health too. So that started my journey, trying different foods. Vegetables, they don't have to be canned and taste horrible. They can be fresh and delicious. Oh, wow, what a concept. So, eating healthier foods. And in college, they did introduce us to yoga and Tai Chi, and I loved it, because I could feel it reducing the stress. But then you kind of get away from it when you're not in college anymore. And it was before the days where they really had a lot of yoga DVDs and things like that. I don't think they even had DVDs. So dating myself.
No, they had albums.
They had tapes. So VCR. But so yeah, dating myself. But it kind of like was coming back and forth to it. I would have friends say, hey, Julie, maybe you want to try this. And then, and again, just researching on the internet, going to different doctors. And one of the things is we give our power away. So we give our power away to doctors.
Say that again. Say that again.
We give our power away. And we give our power away to doctors. And I was getting fed up. I wasn't feeling better. I was paying them lots of money. And I fired them. You can't be afraid to take control of your own health journey. Your doctor should be a partner with you. Yeah. Not a guru telling you what to do and not really caring about the root cause. I was put on all sorts of medication and they have side effects. And unfortunately, some of those side effects caused other problems for me. And then I finally just said, no more medications. And I had some doctors throw fits. And so
of course they will.
Yeah, because they're like, you have to be on medication for the rest of your life. And I'm like, no, I don't. So that's where you have to take that three-pronged approach, where the physical, fool around with your diet. You see how you feel after you eat. I love Snicker bars, but they don't make me feel good after I eat them, so no more Snickers. Really take stock. Some people need meat. So I'm not saying to everybody go vegan, because again, there's no one size fits all, but see what works for you. And that has to be some trial and error. You got to clean up the diet first and then see how you feel after you eat certain things. Didn't feel good after dairy. So I had to cut out dairy before I went vegan. So that's the physical. And then you want to try some form of exercise that's going to make you feel good. It doesn't have to be yoga or Tai Chi or Qigong, even though I highly recommend them. It could be sports or dancing, whatever resonates with you. But then you got to do the emotional. And the emotional is, okay, what happened? What haven't I addressed from my life that I'm still resentful or I'm still hurt? And that's where meditation and mindfulness can really come into play, is to help us see and respond versus reacting, and then kind of really get an objective view of what happened and help us see. And then you've got the spirit. Whether you believe in God or not, there needs to be a higher purpose and a higher passion that makes you sparkle. So that's what I call the relax, reframe, replenish framework. Relax for the body, because stress is responsible for 75 to 90% of all doctor's visits. Reframe what happened to you. It wasn't your fault you got bullied. It doesn't reflect on you whatsoever. Learn not to take other people's reactions personally, and then replenish your spirit, because life is hard. So you want to make sure you have that joy and that passion every single day, even if it's for 5 to 10 minutes, so that you are full and you have lots of love to give to other people.
Amen. Amen. I love it. And right now I'm typing in the chat. Learn not to take other people's reactions personally.
That's one of the
And
hardest lessons to learn.
it is because we end up getting defensive or feeling like something's wrong with us. And I put in the chat relax, reframe, replenish, but I want to put each one separate as you were talking about them. So relax, and what am I saying about that?
So relax is for the body, because when we get stressed out, we subconsciously tense our muscles. It's a protective mechanism. And, there's nothing wrong with our body. It's doing what it's designed to do, which is to protect you. But tight muscles aren't good. I mean, anybody who needs a massage can attest to that. And most of us have that stress. And as I mentioned before, all our memories are in our muscles. So, fun fact, I went to massage therapy school and became a massage therapist for a little while.
Did you?
I did.
Girl, I'm telling you, there is nothing like a massage, and it's medicinal.
Yes,
People think massaging is just for recreation. No, it is medicinal.
it
It
is.
helps. I mean, even cancer patients, there are certain techniques you can't do a regular massage,
No, you can't.
but you can do this type where you're barely touching the body, but yet your that energy is doing the things that need to be done as if it were a actual touching massage. And I know my sister had that done, and it just made her feel so much better. I'm telling you, get a massage.
Well, I
And if
can't wait
you
till the day that it's more affordable. We got to
that's
flip it, where massage is covered by insurance, so that you're paying like maybe a $10, $15 copay to go get a massage. I mean, honestly, the whole health system is so broken.
it
But,
is.
and that's the terrible thing. And that's why massage is seen as a luxury, because it's $120 an hour. And how many people can afford that? And as much as I love massage and I'm a huge proponent in it, doesn't last all that long, because then you get stressed again.
No,
So
oh,
you
you
need
gotta have one every week.
exactly, but who can afford it? So that's why
Right.
we need to tweak the whole system. So that's why I love different tools that you can get, like on Amazon. You can get like back massagers, you can get acupressure mats, and that they can run you $50 to $80. It's a
Yes,
one-time thing, and you can use it as much as you want. So there are
absolutely.
other ways to do it. And I got to tell you, going to massage therapy school helped me so much, because it introduced me to Eastern philosophy. And that's when I went back into, Qigong and meditation. And I started studying Buddhism. And, that, of course, Buddhism is huge on meditation. So that really helped me with the tools to improve my health. But
Right.
but yeah, so relaxation is so important. But if you don't have the funds, you don't need to, if you can't do a massage, deep breathe. We can all do that for free.
Yes. And breathe. And as you're breathing, you can relax your own body as you're thinking, breathing, relax your shoulders, breathing, relax feel your chest and feel your breathing. There's just so many things that we can do. Now I've got relax your body, tight muscles is not good. massages, a massage is medicinal. But then the next one was refrain.
Yeah, so you want to reframe your thoughts, and that's like part of what we discussed in Don't Take Things Personally. One of the biggest realizations I had is how people react is a reflection of them. How you respond is a reflection of
Of
you.
you. Absolutely.
When people are reacting, it's because they're triggered, and they're triggered because of an experience in their past. Very, very rarely does it have anything to do with you. So I challenge you, with your loved ones, if you're starting to take things personally, observe them with other people. Are they judging them? Because most likely it's not just in your relationship or your friendship. So have that objective mindset, and then distance yourself. And if they have a valid point about something you did, then of course have accountability and apologize and change your behavior. But most of the time it's because they are triggered for something that happened in their childhood or some experience they went through, and it has nothing to do with you. I'm a firm believer that you get into relationships to heal your childhood wounds, and that means you trigger each other, and
Right.
you have to realize that and not take it personally. And I think that's a great lesson that we can learn from our relationships, is not to take those things personally, because again, when people attack, whether they mean to or not, it's because they're hurting, they're angry, they're
Absolutely.
sad.
Absolutely. And understanding, like she said, it's the most important thing is how you relate, react, and respond. You don't have any control over other people. You don't have any control over what they say or do regarding you, but you do have control over how you relate, react, and respond. And that is very, very, very important. And I know with you, I want to come back. I want to backtrack for a minute because you talked about medicines and the impact that medicine has. And see, people don't understand medicines. They create additional issues. In
Mhm.
most cases, you're taking medicine for one thing, but then that whole litany of other things that are caused by that same medication that could be fatal. And so looking at things from a nutritional but yet a natural perspective. And I mean, like, I'm 70, I'm not on any medications, and I don't want to be on any medications. There was a point where there was some concern about me having high blood pressure. And my doctor, you have to ask questions. You have to ask if there are other alternatives.
Mhm.
Don't just take what your doctor says. And by me asking her that, she referred me to turmeric, which is
Yeah.
which works great for high blood pressure. So you don't have to take those pills. Reminds me of that song by Aretha. Don't send me no doctor to fill me up with all those pills.
And that's not to totally diss Western medicine, because Western medicine is great for those emergencies. You break your arm, natural's not going to help you. You know, you break your leg, you puncture something, you need surgery. Western medicine's great. But what's really interesting that I learned about Eastern medicine is your doctors get paid when you're healthy, and they don't get paid
Yes.
when you're sick. So they have incentive to keep you healthy, where
Yeah.
our doctors get paid when you're sick. So they have
And they
incentive to keep you sick because you're
yes.
healthy. You're not paying them. So
Right.
it's backwards. And, those commercials are horrifying. There's a nasal spray now that I forget what it can help you with. I think, actually, it's supposed to be like an antidepressant, and it's supposed to back up your antidepressant. But it can cause suicidal thoughts, and it can cause, death and all these other things. And I'm like, it's horrifying. And those are just the side effects that we know about. I mean, if you watch any medication commercial, it might be 10 seconds on what it can actually do for you and 50 seconds on all the side effects. And it's really, really scary. And
It
until
is.
can transform that. So you really need to be your own advocate because, again, not just in the medication profession, because there are some really good doctors out there who really want to help people, but they get incentives to to prescribe these medications, and they get kickbacks, and hospitals get kickbacks. So you have to push back. And, if you absolutely need a medication, okay, for a little while until you can get healthy naturally, that's okay. There's no shame in trying to heal, but make sure you're pushing back. Make sure you're
Yes.
listening. And if your doctor is not giving you natural alternatives, because a lot of them aren't aware of nutrition, they're not taught that much in school, or acupuncture, or all these other modalities, try it yourself and see if it works. I mean, again, if you can't afford acupuncture, go online, look up acupressure for what you're going through, and do the points yourself. There are ways to do it affordably. So you don't, because that was one of the things that got me is, oh my God, how much money I spent on supplements and acupuncture and massage and all this stuff. And it gets, I mean, thousands and thousands of dollars. And I wasn't rich, I would be a lot richer now if I didn't have to spend all that money. So there are ways to do it. Get a book up from the library on acupressure, get a book on, health. You can look up recipes. So don't let money be a factor, because I know, food has gotten so much more expensive and a lot of people are struggling. So I don't want that to be a barrier for you. But again, you have to question, why are they willing to help you pay for drugs, but they're not willing to help you pay for food?
Right. Right. Exactly. And the thing is, if there was a movie called What the Health. I don't know if you saw that or not,
No, I
but
haven't.
it talked about, for example, the Diabetes Association. It has a calendar of foods that you can eat. And so many of those foods are not good if you have diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
The Cancer Society, all these different places, they are in the business to make money. And if we had a country that focused more on preventative measures, think how much healthier we would be in this country. In fact, the United States, I think, is the number one country for obesity. And I think I'll have to double check, but I know it's up there as one of the top countries in the world
Mm-hmm.
where we suffer from obesity.
And the food pyramid is totally backwards. You can't go wrong with eating fruits and vegetables. And I know some people even have allergies to certain fruits and vegetables. That's not natural. So again, it's a lot of trial and error, but the way we can change things is putting our dollars behind it. So instead of buying processed food, instead of buying fast food, we put our dollars in the farmers markets. We put our dollars in the fresh produce, and we pick and choose. But if you eat more fruits and vegetables and a little bit less meat and dairy and that, then you can swap out your grocery bill so you don't feel the pain as much. Because unfortunately, it's backwards. Like back in the way olden days, centuries ago, sugar used to be super, super expensive and only the rich could eat sugar. Now, sugar's really cheap and the healthy food is the more expensive.
Right. And sugar is poison to your system.
It is, and it's in everything. So even if you don't eat sweets, it's in our ketchup, in our salad dressing. And, you know,
It's in
I,
everything.
and I'm a realist. We all can't grow our own gardens and make all our own food. If you can, God bless you. I'll be over your house. But, we all can't do that. And that has also been kind of done by design because, back when we were kids, only one parent had to work. And whether, a woman wants to work or not, that's not up to debate, that's fine. But you only needed one salary to survive. These days, you need two or three to survive.
Yes. And
So you're working.
single parents like your mother, working 2 and 3 jobs to
And
support your
you're working so
family,
hard. The last thing you feel like doing is cooking when you get home.
right?
So
Or spending time with your children because you're tired.
exactly. So the design of it is that way. So really, our whole lifestyle needs a complete overhaul. But the thing is, it can get overwhelming. Like when I was given, certain things to do, like I love emotional freedom technique, which is tapping on acupressure points
Yes, yes.
and energy medicine, all this. But if you did everything that was recommended, it'd be a full time job. So what I recommend is snackify it. Just pick one or two modalities, do a little bit every day. It's the consistency that matters, not how much time. So meditating an hour a day is fantastic, but most people don't have that. So meditate 5 minutes a day. If you do
Right.
five
And
minutes,
there
yeah. So
Yes, and there's other things that you can do, like for example, the tactile meditation, focusing, just taking a few minutes and focusing in on the ridges on your finger, and then moving and feeling the ridges on all of your fingers. And as you're doing this, you're focusing in on what you're doing, and it helps you to become more mindful of the moment, and it helps you to relieve stress. I'm
well,
telling
yes,
you.
because all stress is in the future and the past. Because if we're thinking about the past, we could be depressed, angry, regretful. If we're thinking about the future, we could be really anxious and worrying. So meditation and mindfulness are great because it teaches us to be in the present moment. Unfortunately, it's really hard to stay there. That's why it's called a practice. But the more you practice, the easier you'll find that you'll get engrossed with what you're doing and you won't be thinking as much. And then that's going to relieve stress naturally because you're focused on the present moment. Because very, very rarely is something going on this moment that's going to cause you a lot of stress. Now, it does happen, and there are techniques you can do, but most of our stress is because of the past and the future. So mindfulness helps us. Okay, wait a minute. I just got lost in that argument, or I'm getting anxious about, whether I'm going to have a job or, what's going to happen in the future. Stay present. We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, my crystal ball has been on back order for decades. So, that's why, again, the mind is really, really powerful, and it can control the body. And I believe the body is crying out when you're sick to help heal the mind, because most of the time when your body's sick, it's because of something in your mind. So like they've proven that anger contributes to cancer. So there are different emotions that can cause different illnesses, and if you don't listen to the emotions, the body will start to warn you quietly. And if you don't listen, it will scream at you in the form of pain or a serious illness. And one way that you can help address that illness is, okay, what's going on? What's my body trying to tell me? What's it trying to heal?
Yes. And almost every single condition, whether it's hereditary or not, is triggered by how we handle stress.
Yes.
There's eustress, which is good stress. Going back to school may be stressful, but it's good stress. Getting married may be stressful, but it's a good stress. But it's the distress that causes dis-ease in our bodies. And being able to understand the difference is so critical. And teaching our kids these methods as well will help relieve some of their pressure and some of their stress as well. And I want to back up. You had mentioned about kids not recognizing things that they're being told, and they tend to believe it. And that's why like coaches and mentors and role models can help shape that child so that they recognize that just because these things are said does not make it so. And we've got a commercial to do, and then we will be right back. So let me play this.
It's been a month for a minute. Hallelujah. Amen.
Hey there, Jason McNamara here, and I'm about to drop something truly game-changing your way. Are you tired of the same old 9-to-5 grind? Feeling stuck in obtaining the life you deserve and craving something more? Well, listen up, because I've got something you will not want to miss. Introducing the No More 9-to-5 Club Professional Membership, your ticket to freedom and success in the entrepreneurial world. With our professional membership, you'll get access to weekly coaching sessions, pre-recorded trainings, and a vibrant community of fellow game changers. You get access to technology that will allow you to automate passive income streams, as well as unlock all of our expert-led trainings in the back office so you know where to go for good advice when you need it. You will also use the club to build up a residual income stream with a 2-tier 33% affiliate commission unlocked at this level, allowing you to help people help themselves while generating a residual passive income stream for yourself. And here's the kicker. For a limited time, you can unlock all of this just for a $1.11 donation to our club foundation.
I like this one.
Your first month is on us. So what's holding you back? Click the link below, make your donation, and let's start building the life and business of your dreams together. Here at the No More 9-to-5 Club, we're all about turning dreams into reality and smashing through those glass ceilings.
That's what I'm talking about, Jake.
Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just starting out, we've got the tools and support you need to thrive and evolve. And don't forget to sign up for our bootcamp training. It's the perfect way to kickstart your journey and unlock even more perks. So what are you waiting for? Join the No More 9-to-5 Club today, and let's make those dreams a reality. I can't wait to see you on the inside. You only get one now. Invest it in your better future. Let's make magic happen together.
No more 9 to 5. Let me just say a little bit about No More 9 to 5. It is a networking, masterminding, and opportunity for looking at other streams of income within this organization. And proceeds go to veterans. If you do have a 9 to 5 and you're looking at thinking there's got to be more to life than this, and you have a purpose and you have a passion, but you don't know how to get started, you want to come to No More 9 to 5. If you are an entrepreneur and you have a business, but you're looking at building, expanding, and growing and networking with other like-minded people, then you want to come to No More 9 to 5. And you can get in for the first month for $1.11. Come on now. Check it out. No More 9 to 5. It is in the comments, and you can click it on and find out more. All right. Back to us. One of the things we've talked. Oh, before I do that, let me also say, you can support the Vera Thomas Show by donating. Go to Cash App, $Instill Great, Venmo at VT1117, or Zelle, Vera Thomas Show 1117@gmail.com. Your support is appreciated, valued, and needed. So please go and help me do as well as I can do in this show. So, all right. Now, back to you, Julie, and let's talk about some other tips. Now, you mentioned the Qigong. Qigong. Okay. Tell us a little bit more about it. And I did put it in the chat, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat again. If you can just kind of explain the benefits of this.
Absolutely. So if you're familiar with Tai Chi, Qigong is similar to Tai Chi, except it doesn't have the formal forms and it doesn't move as much. And what I really love about Qigong is that it's really easy to do and it frees your energy. So all illness starts in the energetic body first. So we have flows in our body called meridians. And this has been proven by science for all you skeptics out there. But we do have many meridians flowing through our body. And when they get jammed up, they can cause illness. So what Qigong helps do is it's a lot of flowing movements and a lot of deep breathing. So it gets all your energy unstuck so that you feel more energetic and that the energy can go where it needs to go in your body to heal. And there have been many people who have suffered from multiple sclerosis and other serious illnesses that have benefited tremendously from Qigong. So the link that Vera put in, Lee Holden, who is the teacher I follow online, has very generously in 2020, and we all know what happened in 2020, gave 5 videos to help people to boost their immune system. He has a video on better breathing and also reducing your anxiety. So if you go to that link, you can sign up, get the 5 videos for free. Of course, he's a businessman, so you'll end up on his emailing list, but you can always unsubscribe. But those videos were a lifesaver during 2020 and the stress of 2020. And I got to say, I love this man and his teachings. And you can look up Lee Holden on YouTube. He has lots of free small routines, short routines that you can do. And then he also does throughout the year, if you are on his email list, 5-day Chi challenges that are totally free. So you can learn how to do these flowing movements. And just by doing 7 to 20 minutes a day, you can really improve the quality of your life. And Qigong also does what I do, as it's the 3-pronged approach. By doing these body exercises, you're freeing your energy, and it helps your emotions too. So you don't have to go to talk therapy and relive, well, mommy did this and daddy did that. And, I'm so mad at this person. It gets it at the root level.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I know you gave me that link before we met, and I will be taking advantage of it, because anytime we can get those kinks out of our bodies and that energy flowing properly, it will help with inflammation. It will also help with just getting yourself in sync. And let me also say, let me mention sugar again, because sugar causes inflammation.
Mm-hmm. And it's
And
more addictive than cocaine.
and it's addicting. It's just as addicting as cocaine. That's
Mm-hmm.
why when, like the sodas, if you're drinking sodas, especially dark sodas, because there are also cancer causing agents in those dark colas. So you want to drink water. Drink water, so anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there, and give us, now I put the relax, refrain, and then the other one was,
Replenish.
okay, you want to tell me more to put on under replenish?
Yes. So, especially as women, but all of us, we give our energy away throughout the day. We give it to our jobs, we give it to our loved ones, and we are left depleted. And if we don't do activities to help us replenish, then we're going to be the ones who are going to take it out on our loved ones, and they're going to take it personally. You can't give from an empty cup.
Right.
And we all have heard the analogies with the oxygen mask, and so I'm not going to go through that, but it's seen as selfish if we do self-care, and it's not selfish. It is the best gift you can give your loved ones.
Yeah.
Because if you are full and you are loving, you're going to be the best person for everyone's lives that you touch. So you want to replenish. And what is replenishing? Well, anything that brings you joy. Is it reading? Is it watching your favorite sports game? Is it watching a movie? Is it going out and being with friends? I mean, for each person, it's different. But I think the biggest thing for replenishing is your purpose. Whatever your purpose is. Like for me, it's speaking. And whenever I'm in the National Speakers Association or Toastmasters, I just sparkle. And I get, even if I'm tired and I don't feel good when I go there, when I'm there, I'm just so motivated. So that's what you want to see in your own life, is what gives you that motivation, that even if you're tired, it gives you that boost of energy. And then do more of that. Figure out, how can I incorporate this into my everyday? And again, it doesn't have to be hours and hours. You don't have to be overwhelmed. but you definitely want to devote some time to that so that you feel replenished. And, body, mind, and spirit are not separate, they're intertwined. So when you replenish, it leads to relaxation. When you relax, it helps you reframe. They're all cyclical and they all affect each other. But it's important we find that joy, because right now life's not too joyous. I mean, we've got incredible inflation. A lot of people are out of work. The politics, don't even get me started. There's a lot of things that are causing a lot of division and chaos. And the best thing we can do is take a step back, breathe, be the best person we can be, because it's a ripple effect. You will affect all the people around you. So that's why it's not selfish. Because when you take care of yourself, then you're not going to snap at your kids when they misbehave. You're not going to snap at your husband when he triggers you. You're not going to snap at your coworker or let your boss get to you, because you're going to be more centered. So we want to protect our peace at all costs. And the way to do that is the relax, reframe, replenish framework.
Oh my God. And you said, you want to hold on to your peace. Peace, be still. And there's nothing like that peace that surpasses understanding. But when you're in pain, when you are stressed out, when you're feeling anxious, there is no peace because
No,
you're.
and it doesn't just affect you, it affects everybody that you surround yourself with. So that's why by being self-centered, you're doing everybody a really huge favor, because if you're not reacting, then you can diffuse tensions a lot easier. But if you're both reactive, or you have a group that's reactive, then it's just going to explode. And peace is really hard to find, but we have to be what we want to see in the world. And if we, I know Gandhi said that, but if we want to see peace, we want to see joy, we want to see health, then we have to model that. And that's when we do, again, our loved ones a great service, because kids don't follow what you say to them, they follow what you do.
Absolutely, absolutely. And with that, I am going to do another commercial and we will be right back.
Nothing is impossible for this woman. She walks by faith, and God keeps her in perfect.
Wrong. Sorry. Okay, let me go. All right, this is
Mama Knows creates high quality products that are available to be used on multiple textures of hair. Her goal is to bridge the gap to stop people from having to use multiple products because of families with multiple hair types. Her products are currently being used on men, women, children of all ethnicities. Mama Knows products are available at www.mamaknowsproducts.com. That's www.mamaknowsproducts.com. You can also find her on Instagram at Mama Knows Products, because Mama knows what you need.
Let me tell you about these products. They are wonderful. They smell great and they work wonders on your hair. Shampoos, conditioners, moisturizers, hair serums, and they're for all ethnic groups: men, women, boys, and girls, all races, all ethnicities. Mama Knows products are wonderful. Why? Because Mama knows what you need. So check it out: mamaknowsproducts.com. All right. All right. Um, Let me pull your and you can be in touch with Julie by clicking on this link. She's on LinkedIn most of the time, so that's where you're going to find her. And I'm going to also put this in the chat so that you can message her, friend her, and let her tell you more about how to relieve some of these diagnoses that's causing you to be on all kinds of medications that you may well not need to be on. All right. So, what else do you want to tell us, my friend? Is there anything that's sticking out that you feel like I gotta tell you? I gotta tell them. I gotta tell them. Okay.
You don't lose hope. When you have especially when it's an undiagnosed chronic illness, you lose hope because you're just so frustrated. You're not living the quality of life you want to live, but there is hope out there. Please be your best advocate, and you are more powerful than you have been taught, and you are more powerful than you realize. Have your doctors be your partners. And if you're not happy with how your health plan's going, fire them. Find somebody else. Yeah, as I said, I wish I could just wave my magic wand and make you all better. It doesn't work that way. But keep trying. Persistence will prevail. And there's no one size fits all. So, vegan might work for me, but you might need to eat meat. Just see how you feel. Start being your own detective. Start observing. How do I feel after I do this exercise? How do I feel after I eat?
I'm telling you, this.
And do this for yourself. It does take effort. Sorry, there's no quick fix on it, but you are worth it.
Get ready for an extraordinary weekend from May 9th.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Your quality of life is worth it. Don't give up on yourself. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and don't lose hope.
Amen. Amen. And I apologize. I was trying to find something. I kept clicking on the wrong thing. I'm so sorry. Well, I am just so honored that you're here and that you have overcome some major, major conditions and that you found that going the natural route worked best for you. So let me ask you, how is your health now?
It's much better. I mean, I still have a few things, but I don't get sick every 2 weeks anymore. I don't get that, whatever that illness was, Lyme disease, whatever, Epstein-Barr, who knows what it was, but that pattern stopped with the energy work, with the meditation, with the emotional healing, with the diet changes. So I'm healthier than I've ever been. Now, some people are much healthier than I am, but it's where your baseline is. And my baseline is much, much better than it used to be. I don't get sick nearly as much. I used to get bronchitis for 6 weeks, a couple times a year. Thank God that doesn't happen anymore. So, that's where I say there is light at the end of the tunnel. And like I was talking to my husband, he's like, how can you fight something when you don't know what it is? But you can, because I still don't know what it was. But that's why you have to be the detective and, okay, what symptoms am I having? How do I feel? And just research. But the great news is there's already tools out there for you. So try Qigong, try yoga, try different types of exercises that are more relaxing. You can pair that, if you love tennis, you love baseball, basketball, you don't have to stop. But see how it works for you. Tweak that diet. Incorporate more fruits and vegetables into your diet, drink more water, read labels, because it's really scary.
Yes, let's talk about that. What advice would you give as it relates to labels and putting things in your body?
Well, ideally, you want to go unprocessed, but again, I'm a realist. I mean, I eat processed vegan foods because it's easier. But I do try to do my salads and my vegetables. So just do the best you can. None of us can be totally pure. If you can, great. Kudos to you. But just snackify it again. Cut out one sugar. Cut out one sugar drink. Cut out one sweet. And then replace with fruit, because fruit's sweet, but it's a good sweet, the glucose. So, just make those tiny changes, because I had one herbalist who made so many changes at once. I lost like 30 pounds. I looked sick. People thought I had cancer. And I begged her, I'm like, give me calories, lady. Because all I could eat was vegetables, no grains, no fruit. And it just wasn't right for me. So, no, make small, manageable changes. Cut out just one little thing a week and then replace it with something healthier. And when your body will naturally reject it. Like I was teasing about Snicker bars. You're not going to feel good once you cut it out and you try to get it back in. So again, listen to your body. Your body is your best friend.
I love it. Your body is your best friend. You hear that, right? And where labels are concerned, if it's something you can't pronounce, then you probably don't want it in your body. Keep that in mind. Well, Julie, it has been a pleasure having you on my show. And you gave us a wealth of information. You showed us how you were able to heal yourself by asking questions and doing research. Don't take everything the doctor says as gospel, and get a second opinion.
And a third and a fourth.
Yes,
If you
yes.
need it.
Absolutely. Well, listen, thank you, audience, for being here. Thank you, Julie. And if you would hold on a few minutes after, and I want to just touch base. So, thank you all for being here and have a great, great week. I will see you on Thursday with another fantastic guest.
The